HTJ.tax, the international tax firm for 6, 7, and 8-figure investors and entrepreneurs who are living that international life. Are you ready?
When one spouse is an American expat living abroad and the other is a foreign national, a non-resident alien with no intention of applying for a U.S. green card or pursuing U.S. citizenship, when is it better to file jointly and when is it better for the U.S. spouse to file separately? That's a great question. We get that all the time. I know some people, they file single when they're married, but that's kind of like misrepresenting yourself on your tax form, right? So if it is you're married to a non-American, your options are really married filing separately or married filing jointly, or head of household if the kids have social security numbers. So head of household is also an option. So the reason why married filing jointly is attractive is because you get the ease of e-filing depending on what system your tax team is working on. But more importantly, the tax code and the tax tables in terms of income tax, they are created or construed in such a way that those who file jointly get preferential tax treatment to those who file separately. So basically, depending on what how you earn your income, you can actually pay less when you pay less in taxes if you file jointly as opposed to separately based on the same earned income. We can debate whether that's right or wrong, but that's just the way it is. The code is constructed in such a way it encourages you to file jointly. And there's certain tax credits. So that's in terms of the actual tax rates. And then there's certain tax credits that are only available when you file jointly as opposed to when you file separately. So the tax code kind of puts pressure on you to file jointly. So that's the upside. Now, the downside is that when you file jointly with your non-US spouse, you need to include their income. So it'll be a Section 6013G election. And you'd wonder, well, hold on, why would my non-US spouse ever be interested in getting into the US tax net? Again, that's a good question, and we get that all the time. The reason being, and I think you know this because you kind of hinted at it in the question, the way you phrased it, it's a good idea if the intent is to pursue US residency. So if at some point in time you think that your non-US spouse would join you in moving to the US, then it makes sense to file jointly, because then, they have a tax ID and they have a footprint. They're no longer, because otherwise they simply don't exist in terms of, if they want to get a cell phone plan, if they want to, lease a car, they have no credit score, they have no proof of income, they have nothing. They simply don't exist, and it'll take a while for them to create a digital footprint in the US. So by filing jointly, it's a good step strategically if your non-US spouse hopes to join you in moving to the US. If it is not the case, which you have clearly said it's not the case, then you're right. It's best to file separately rather than bring your non-US spouse's income into the US tax net. So that's an option. Another way of getting the preferential tax rates that come with filing jointly is if you have US kids with social security numbers. And I know that's a big issue because some of my clients who have had kids in the past year or two, with the issues with the US embassies abroad, it's been a bit challenging to register births abroad and get socials and etc. So assuming that you do have social for the kids, you can file head of household, and that gives you better tax treatment than married filing jointly. So I hope that answers your question.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.